show the gut, the side. Look at that thing, man. Like, now that's how you start. Dude, that thing is so long. That's what we're looking for.
That thing.
That, to me, looks like a PB. What do you think? That's going over 5.
No, it's not 5, but holy crap.
Dude. Damn right. That's a 4. Dude. 4 pounder right off the bat. Here we go. Oh my God. Dude. Look at that. I have big hands. That thing's huge. Girthy. That's triple C thick.
Calling them today, boys.
Oh my God. I love your wife. My wife is the best. How's it going, everybody? We got dinner.
Burgers.
It was a little late, but better late than never.
Ooh.
Funny, I had turkey burgers for dinner.
Tastes way better when you don't buy them.
Right? Turkey burgers would actually be really good. I actually really enjoy it. We make, my wife buys ground chicken. And we make chicken patties, but we'll cook bacon first, and then I'll cook the chicken patties in like a little bit of bacon grease. Oh, it is good. Good stuff.
I had pork rinds today.
Really?
Yeah, pretty good.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Probably good. Cool. All right. Let me know how the audio sounds, please. We have a new cable. I don't know if it was YouTube or StreamYard last week that was giving us the issues. I bought a new cable anyway. After what I heard, like what happened, I was like, ooh, that may have been the USB cable that actually crapped out. At the same time as either YouTube or StreamYard having issues. So I'm really hopeful that we don't have this issue again tonight. I got a really expensive, very nice, beefy USB cable this time. Not just some cheap crap Amazon one I got last time. Cable quality does matter.
Heart attack.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah, you're going to be all right there, buddy? I'm going to try and rifle this down.
Oh, we're good.
So, for everybody that's here, obviously, 1, thank you very much. 2, welcome to the show. We have Passang of Sherpa Swimbaits. He's here to join us tonight for an interview. We're probably going to pester him a little bit for some tips on fishing the big baits. Otherwise, dive into the history of his company, how he got into making baits, the whole 9 yards. Before we get into that, I got to ask the usual stuff. If you haven't done it yet, please drop a like on the stream. Always appreciate the help. If anybody wants to make a donation, by all means, please do so. If you're set up to do it right here on YouTube, you can do it there or in the video description below. There's a link to both our Venmo and our PayPal. Literally everything and anything helps. I think this is the 5th week in a row now where I still haven't updated the goal thing for how much we've received towards the whole new kind of stream setup in the background nobody can see, but
Kind of a bunch.
Kind of a bunch. I can go back through and double check it to see where we're at, but if I had to take a guess, we're probably pretty close to $300 towards that goal. So we're getting there. We're getting there really close.
Thank you, everybody.
Ooh, some weight scrutiny. Hey, buddy. I got you.
What am I wearing?
What are you wearing? Besides your food. Trying to think what else there was. Oh, so after we go through and cover everything with Sherpa, what I would like to do at the end of the night is talk a little bit about the recent changes that Bass just announced, which sucks. There's no other way to put it. It was a studded toe boot steel. No, wait, no. A studded boot kick right to the nuts of my dreams for fishing Bass Opens. It is what it is. We can work around it. It's not the end of things, but it certainly pushes it back to a time frame that I can no longer see. Whereas it was this year that I was looking at it and eyeing it up. And then some other things. I actually saw a comment from one of our subscribers and supporters that I'm not even gonna lie, it irked me a little bit because of what was said, but we'll cover that later. Anywho, I'm gonna eat this burger. In the meantime, Passang, thank you very much for joining us. Please tell me if I'm saying your name wrong. I'm
Yeah,
terrible.
you got it. You got it.
Okay,
Perfect.
good.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Very welcome, man. So why don't you go ahead and take a minute, introduce yourself, go over your company just a little bit lightly, like where people can find it, your social media, the whole 9 yards, and then we'll dive into it a little bit deeper from there. I'm gonna eat my burger.
Okay. So, thanks for having me, first of all, and nice to finally kind of meet you guys like this.
Yep.
We'll have to get out in the water eventually. But so, Sherpa Swimbaits, we are located out of Gloucester, Massachusetts, and I started the company in 2019. My website is sherpaswimbaits.com. You can also find me on Instagram. It's Swimbait Sherpa. That's it. Just the 2 words. And my email would be sherpaswimbaits@gmail.com. So mainly I make these hard baits. It's all resin. And I got 2 models right now, which is the gill and the crawler. Obviously, I have the 3-piece variation of the gill too, but the process is pretty similar. So mainly focused around resin baits, no wood. So
Nice.
yeah.
There you go. There's the 50,000-foot overview behind Sherpa.
Good. Now go buy some.
So for anybody interested, if you want to check it out while we're talking about it, I put the link to his website into the chat there, and I pinned it. Go ahead and give that a shot after the stream because I forgot to do it beforehand. I'm going to add links to his website and all social media there so you can check it out. So let's go back to the beginning. What got you even into deciding to make your first swim bait? Like, where did it all start? What drove it?
So, since I was a kid, I've always been into a lot of art. I always enjoyed art. Gave me a lot of peace. And another part of me when I was a kid, I'd, break all my toys and then take all the parts out of those toys and make another toy with it. So I always like creating things, So I think that part of me since I was younger kind of bloomed into today, the bait making aspect of things. And so pretty much started out as a hobby, I would say. And then I never expected it to turn out to be what it is today at the time, but stars kind of aligned for me and things well, it wasn't easy. It was a lot of time, but I had some pretty good seasons with the baits, and I think other people can have a shot at that too if they put the time in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So when you started making baits for yourself, how long were you fishing them yourself before you started, like, whether it was just people asking you about them or you were like asking friends like, hey, give this a shot, let me know what you think? Like, how long was it before you got to a point where you're like, you know what, I want to put this in somebody else's hands?
I would say I fished it for like a good year. I mean, when I made the first like batch of it, I had some friends that wanted a gill here and there, like, a couple people. I never really pushed them on to people because I don't know, I kind of feel like it's a little corny. So,
Understandable.
if somebody wants it, they can reach out to me and I'll be happy to give them one. So that was how it was at the time. And probably I would say I didn't really start producing them for a sale for at least a good year until, I had racked up a good amount of fish on the bait. And
Yep.
2019, that was the year for it. Oh my God. I wish I could go back to that. So
Yeah, 2019 was a good year.
that
was a
was a
fantastic
very
year.
good year. Oh my God. That was my best year so far. I got 33-13 for my 5.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude,
Damn.
I did all my damage in August in 3 weeks.
Damn.
Wow.
Somehow patterned the bite at this place, and they were munching the gills, just up super shallow. Literally next month. caught a 713 and probably less than a foot of water.
Jeez.
Holy
Dude,
crap.
yeah, that was a strong fish, and it was the biggest fish I've ever caught, and still looking to beat it. It's
Yeah.
gonna be tough.
Always need to beat that big fish.
Yeah.
What time of the day was that one caught?
All of my big fish have been at nighttime. I have
Man.
a few, I have a good amount of 5 pounders in the daytime, but I spend a lot of my hours at night. That's when my focus is like 100%. Everything. My confidence is 100%. Like I feel, in my zone at night.
Yep.
Daytime, I get that little voice in my head that tells me, I ain't gonna get bit. It's like,
That's always going through my head. Always.
screws up my retrieve, and I'm reeling the bait in like halfway. So still adapting.
Yep.
But so I did design the bait mainly for nighttime. So I mean, if you look at the bait, it doesn't really look much like a fish. It's got the big lips and all that. But
Trying to
the
give you a
purpose
kiss.
behind that, when I first designed it, was I wanted a wake bait that would I could fish very, very slow and have it still maintain action and not have like a overly obnoxious knock on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I feel like earlier on the season, you'll get a lot. What I meant to say was later on in the season, after the fish get conditioned, I feel like the subtle baits, they hit a little bit better than like the loud, noisy ones. Because I feel like, a lot of people, you already get the fish to eat those loud baits earlier on. They're probably not going to hit them later on. That's just what I think that happened in 2019. Because those 3 weeks when I was fishing there was probably about 3 or 4 boats there every night we were fishing.
Holy crap.
Yeah. And those guys were locals there. So they've been fishing there for a while. They didn't like me coming there, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah.
I got a couple love letters on my truck.
That's so sad.
Yeah,
And
but it's okay. I just kept doing my thing. I just kept fishing,
Yep.
and then I
Yeah, I
left.
don't listen to them. Who cares?
But yeah, like I said, those guys they were fishing. One guy, I remember one guy was fishing the alpha rat, and I'm sure he's caught tons of fish there with it. But dude, they weren't eating any of the loud knocking baits at all. They wanted subtle. Dude, I don't know. And since 2019, I've ran with that, and since then since 2019 until this year, I've had a bag over 30 pounds on the gill each year.
Damn.
But that's because I also only fish that thing.
Yep.
That's all you throw at night?
Now I got the
if you
crawler.
Oh, the crawler too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
At
Yeah,
nighttime,
I
if
gotta
I'm
get 'em.
fishing nighttime, that's all I do. It's either gill or it's the crawler. Before it was all gill. That's why you probably see me catch a lot more fish then, because all I was fishing was the gill. But now I'm fishing the crawler in the mix too. And it's kind of hard to put the crawler down. It really is, man. It's because the way I fish is I fish very slow. Very, very slow. I'm very in tune with my line. And all my presentations are very slow. And when I got the crawler in my rotation, it was like, I can't believe I'm catching fish, like, fishing this fast. It may not seem fast, but the way I fish the gill is very, very, very slow. Like, I keep my rod tip pretty much parallel to the water line, and then my line needs to have a nice bow going to the bait.
Okay.
And that's how slow I creep my bait back. So it looks like this.
Damn.
And sometimes you might have to adjust to the wind, so you might be winding a little bit faster, sometimes a little bit slower. If you're reeling against the wind, then you kind of almost literally dead stick in it because the thing's just.
Yeah.
But, another aspect of bait making I like a lot is I learned so much because, I go out there and put them to test. And another one big thing I really like is going out and making prototypes and then going out and fishing. and just to kind of like know that nobody else has that bait or the fish haven't seen that bait, that alone gives me enough confidence to go out. You know,
Absolutely.
like with the crawler, I'd be like, all right, bites kind of suck in here. I'm gonna go find a new lake that's never seen this bait, and I'll go spend like a week there. Week and a half.
Yes.
So
I think that'd be one of like the coolest part of bait making is getting a new bait and then like actually being going out and fishing. Like you said, you'd be the first and only person that's ever fished
yeah,
that bait, and fish
well,
have never seen that bait before.
yeah, just the thought of knowing that's the only bait that's out there, like gives, it
Yeah.
helps me get out, right?
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
All right, so bringing it back a little bit to the beginning again, how did that first kind of quote unquote commercial release for the baits go? You just have enough people ask you, and you're like, all right, yeah, screw
Yeah,
it. I'll
yeah,
make a
okay.
big
So
old batch and release it and see how it goes.
also what happened, right? So 2019, I made like this really small batch, probably about 25 baits, and then I started fishing them myself, and then I sold a few to a couple people here and there, and then the whole year I was just busy fishing, so I wasn't really making baits. And since I was fishing the whole year, I was catching, and the people seeing the pictures. Now people are just asking me, "Hey, do you have a list going?" And I'm like, "I don't, but I can start one."
Yep.
And then by the time the winter came, I had a pretty fat list. So I was like, all right, maybe it's time. I should maybe try to start something, make something out of it. I love fishing. And if I can, you know, give back to the community and I can be of some use that way, it makes me really happy. And in return, I get to fish. It's what I love to do.
Right?
Hell yeah.
So, um, shoot, I just lost my train of thought.
Oh, it's just about the first release of selling them kind of publicly in a bigger batch.
Yeah, so 2019, after I got that list going, I did that. Everything's been very like informal. It hasn't been really like, I didn't really get into kind of pushing myself as a business until I would say probably 2021, to be
Yep.
honest, like last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I was working with you know what, actually, there was a store down south that actually kind of helped me out in the beginning. We kind of had like a falling out, but I would definitely say they helped me out, kind of get my foot in the game and
Nice.
market my baits out there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it started out with that, I guess, and then I kind of just got I started networking with more bait makers and talking to other guys, and then I met Dan Kenny.
Yep.
Yep.
And then Dan Kenny invited me to the show, and here we are pretty much now.
Hell yeah.
So it happened real quick then.
Couple shows later, but that was just a little fast, fast version of what happened so far. But like I said, 2021 is probably when I kind of officially went into production and registered myself as a business and all that.
Nice.
So
That's
before
awesome.
that, it was kind of like all informal, like
Yeah. Yeah.
other
Who
time.
wants one? I'll throw you on the list, and when I get to them, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I really enjoy bait making. It's such an awesome it's such an awesome outlet for me, just in the aspect of how much stress relief I get.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll be
No,
down in the booth and time just flies by. Like
yep.
I never look at the time. I never look at the clock. You know, when I'm down in the shop, the whole month goes by really fast. I've never had a job in my life that's been like that. You
That's
know,
awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, I remember working for my dad, and I'd be like looking at the time. Oh crap, it's only 4 o'clock. Look at the time again. Oh crap, it's only 4:07.
I
Don't
do
have
that
no,
every day.
no. Yeah. So
So is this your full time gig now?
I'm trying to make it my full-time gig. Yes. So I'm
Oh
doing my
yeah.
best to, it's just a one-man show here right now. So doing the production side, shipping, marketing. I'm also working on some filmmaking stuff, and we'll see how that turns out. But
Yeah. If there's anybody that understands that aspect of it and the time, time dedication it requires,
yeah,
it's us. I've been at this well before the fishing thing, doing it with gaming. It's that in and of itself is quite the time sink to get that up and running. So
I don't know if you guys skateboarded when you were younger. Did you guys have a skateboard?
he did. I rode freestyle BMX.
So
And-
yeah, so you guys get it. It's like a skate
yeah.
video. You ever notice all these guys that used to skate when we were younger? They're all gotten into like fishing now, and which I think is really cool. I see this huge similarity. It's like between the skate videos people make. Skate
It's
videos
like-
with the hip hop beat in the back. And now you
Yeah.
got fishing videos with the hip hop beat in the back, and I kind of want to make something like that, and I think I think it would look dope.
It absolutely will.
Montage or maybe do like a short film or something. Just obviously have like a agenda behind it,
Yep.
Not just a bunch of clips of someone like catching fish. I mean, that's cool too, but I feel I'm working on something with the crawler right now. So
Hell yeah, dude! I can't wait to see that.
Yeah,
I can't wait to get my hands on one of those baits.
just message me. I'll get you one.
Okay, hey, Passang, I'm messaging you. Can I?
Can
we get 2 crawlers, please?
End of this month, for sure. Yeah.
Hell yeah!
End
All
of
about
this
it.
month. I'm gonna fish the rest of this week and then get back in the shop.
Nice.
Yeah.
I hope you get your giant this week.
I hope
for
so
real.
too. It's a great week to get out.
Make a nice couple sexy crawlers for us with a smile on your face.
Dude, the smallies up in New Hampshire love them. It's crazy.
I remember you telling me that at the expo.
It's just I'm scared to hook into one.
Nah, you'll be all right.
Dude, bro, I've lost. I mean, the 3-pounders I'll land, but anything over 4, they're hard, man. It's a 4. That thing's rip and drag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you hook in and it feels like you hook the bottom, it's like, all right.
Yeah. They jump. I had one like jump and then like tail walk like 15 feet towards the boat. I'm like, dude, how am I supposed to keep up with that?
Fish a little faster.
I was gonna say yeah.
The whole way.
But it's both good and bad, right? You got the rod, you got the line, but you also got that giant ass weight of the bait hanging out of its teeny tiny mouth, and it's like, damn, how well did I get that pinned? And it's the same difference as when we catch a giant on a drop shot. It's like I know I got her pinned, but if I got this teeny tiny rod, and 8-pound line. I was up in the Lakes region with my friend Kristen the Tuesday after 4th of July, and I caught one that ended up being 3.5 or 3 3/4. I forget now.
Nice.
And they're at that point now when they bite off the bottom, and we saw it again this past Sunday when we were out with one of our subscribers. And you watch them on the graph; they'll come right down, they'll bite it, but you can't feel it because they just kind of like mouth it, and all of a sudden you just see them literally come straight up, like absolute perfect vertical trajectory, and you're like, "There's no weight there." Oh shit! And you got to reel in to catch up to them. And, you be in 35 feet of water and you won't feel tension until you're 15 feet below the boat. And they'll just come straight up, jump 4 feet in the air, hit the water and drive straight back down to the bottom. It's wild.
That is nuts.
Yeah, it's different.
That is cool.
It's fun.
So, I know. I've been kind of very intrigued with the live scope there.
I can't wait to get it, man. It's like, and like the idea of it, especially when you're fishing big baits, must be insane. Because
well, yeah, dude. Oh, so I got lucky. The boat that I bought, I got a 99 Nitro. It's a 17-footer. It's in great shape. But when I bought it, the kid had live scope on it too, so he gave that to me with it.
No kidding.
I'm lucky with it. I'm trying to play around with some glide baits. I think it's chase schools of fish, schools of bait with it.
Absolutely.
And just pitch that glide in there, I just think that's so cool.
It is.
I've been poking around with it a little bit in the drop shot. And dude, it's nuts.
It's wild. The first time I got to fish with it was with our buddy Tom at Smallmouth Freaks on Instagram, and we're up in Vermont. And he was like, "Come on the boat, check it out." So we did, and I was like, "Okay, that's wild." And then I fished with them on the St. Lawrence River, and that was a totally different animal because like that spot, there's like dozens and dozens and dozens of good spots. Anywhere that's a current break in the river, you don't have to go through more than 5 spots before you come up on a school. And we got lucky the first day we were out there. That first spot we pulled up to, they were just stacked. He's like, "Yeah, come look at this." And he's like just scanning around slightly, and there's just this big ball of giant smallies all bombing around. One drop in, he hooked a fish, stung it, and the whole school scattered, and they were gone. But then the first day we're on Lake Ontario, we're fishing this one lonely rock out in like 25 feet of water. This giant flat, real subtle drop off the edge.
A mile from shore.
Yeah. And he's like, "There's a rock out here, and it's almost always going to fish." We pull up, and he's like, spot locking the boat, and he gets a live scope. He has, live scope because he's a Garmin. And he's like, lines up. He's like, yeah, look. And I go look at it, and it's all you can see is the rock, and then you see a little blob just swim out, and then swim out, and swim out. And he's just like looking at a screen, and just without looking up, just fires his drop shot. And we see it come down on the screen and literally hit the fish on the head. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
That's insane. Yeah. Some of those crappie fishermen are very good with that.
Oh yeah. And then
Yeah, a lot of them use it.
yeah, big time. That's why
They school up like that.
Yeah.
Well, I
Easier
mean,
to find them.
the picture clarity is so good if you can get it. If you're looking at something like 20, 30 feet away.
right.
Yeah, like a brush pile or something.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 So one of the questions actually, so Jim B asked a question.
Sure.
Actually, you know what? I'll do that first, then I'll go back to my question. He said, "Nice baits. Are they epoxy coated, and how do they hold up?"
No, so I use automotive clear coat, and I've never had any issues with the clear coat or the paint jobs. You know, I do pretty intensive prep work before and during the whole process. Keep them clean, no contamination. Yeah, but I mean, obviously, eventually they're gonna you're gonna wear through. You got, this 1/0 ST36 treble hook on the front banging, and then you got the size one on the back. But for the most part, yeah, they hold up
It'll
great.
buff out.
Yeah, that'll buff right out.
They are not epoxy coated.
No.
So
Okay,
there's no yellowing, none of that. No.
nice. So then my question then that I wanted to ask before that was, what is like your average turnaround time to build these from start to finish? And then one thing I'm always curious about, because I'm an engineer and I overthink these things a lot. Shut up. Yeah. I made fun of myself. You're not allowed to jump on it.
I do agree.
What's your yield like rate on these? Like, are you almost like a perfect, bat in 1,000 when you build these, or does every batch turn out a couple where you're like, that's not meeting my criteria of a good bait and it's not going out?
Today, I can confidently say that I've got it down. The gill,
Hell yeah.
I've got that down to a science.
Sick.
Yep.
It's been, a lot of trial and error. And some of the batches, I've done, I'm like, holy shit, what do I do? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know if
No, go for it.
Should hear me.
Yeah, so a lot of trial and error, but yeah, I've gotten the gill recipe down pretty good. There's a lot of variables when it comes to resin. So like, I'll tell you one thing: humidity, very bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can make baits, that's fine in humid weather, but if you're pouring resin in humid weather, you're going to get a lot of pinholes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just not very good. I mean, look, your bait will be functional. It won't look very clean.
As the moisture gets in there, and then when
you
it settles,
tons of
and the
pinholes,
moisture
right?
dries, and then it's
Yeah.
just a hole in the bait. Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
This humidity is just no good for resin or painting. Yeah.
Yep. So what's the I guess total time to build one out? I mean, from like the very moment you start step one until you're ready to hand it off to your customer.
So I usually do big batches.
Yep.
And I would say if I do like 200 baits, it would probably take 2 months.
Holy crap.
Yeah, but when I say 2 months, it's 2 months of working 12 to 14 hours all day. every day,
Wow.
no break. So, I mean, obviously, I'll sneak out for fishing. Always time for that. But
Absolutely.
it is a lot of work. I don't look at it like, oh, I have a lot of work. I just, take a look at what I got on my plate for today, chip away at it, and eventually get to the end. And
It's the best
it's a
way to
really
do
good
it.
feeling. Yeah.
Fishing in the Southeast wants to know, do you pressure cast them?
No, I've thought about it, but it would just take too long to set each one up. Um, I'm not really having any issues with the castings, so I don't pressure cast.
There you go. Okay.
The molds I get from Roe, they are very good. They are you are not going to get anything more perfect than that.
I've seen so many molds that guy has made.
Mhm.
That guy's got his setup dialed to make phenomenal molds.
Jake and his crew, they know what they're doing. Yep, for sure.
So my question about them, are they like, how much of their business is making molds for anglers? It's got to be like a decent chunk of their business, but I have a hard time imagining that's like everything they do.
So I think, don't quote me, but I think he likes to work with people that already have, some experience in the field,
Yep.
And also you got to remember, there's probably a lot of people trying to, get him to take up a project, and I'm sure he can't take them all in, So
Exactly.
picking and choosing. I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. Yeah. So.
Well, we got a buddy with a machine shop.
That we do. And trust me, that thought has crossed my mind many a time about making my own like soft bodies because I've had ideas. But then I look at everything I do for the channel and I'm like, where the hell am I going to fit in the time to do that too? Like, no joke. Right over his shoulder over here on one of my shelves is my own version of both a soft body and a hard body swim bait that I want to try and make for myself. I do not want to make them to sell. I was just thinking about like, it would be sick if I could make my own like giant soft body version that I could just pour like 2 colors of and just fish the crap out of them and not give a damn if I lose them. And they don't have to be perfect. I just want them so I could just have a giant swim bait soft body for myself. And then what the hell? Why not? I'll try Crankdown just because it'd be kind of fun. And I really love crafting things. Started that 2 years ago. Still sitting there.
Still on a block of wood.
Dude, just finish it, and then you'll have it on your boat, and you just have to fish it.
I know I got to get to. I even bought a belt sander that's out in my garage, just sitting there, unused, untouched for over a year and a half now. My wife's probably watching this, going, "Just, I told him that was going to happen." You're right.
Don't feel bad. I have baits that I've been carving for a couple years. I pick it up here and there, do a little bit of work, put it down, come back to a couple months later. I kind of like doing that because when I come back to that bait, say like a week later or even a month later, I see that thing in a complete different light.
Yeah.
I don't know if, that explanation might not be clear to everybody, but someone that does this similar type of work like I do, like, maybe carving or some other art, they could probably understand what I just said.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I do.
So.
My problem is I have a very hard time translating what I have up here through these. I'm not artistic whatsoever. Yeah. But that's what drew me to being an engineer. My uncle was one, like, I had no idea what I wanted to do getting out of high school, but I always had ideas to start my own BMX company. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, I didn't go down that road because I graduated high school in 2007. The economy crashed 2008, and it took down like almost the entire BMX industry with it, and it never recovered. Everybody got into mountain biking when the money came back. Mm-hmm. Everybody gave up on BMX.
Skateboarding's still around.
Skateboarding's still around because it's cheap. When everybody was like, BMX, well, now they're all like people like me, in their 30s.
Buy a pair of shoes every 3 days. What are you talking about?
Right, yeah. BMX is not gentle on the body. Neither is mountain biking, but at least your back doesn't hurt just from riding a mountain bike like you do versus a 20-inch BMX always hunched over. My 6'2" fat ass on a 21-inch frame, I always look like I'm riding a little kid's bike.
You can't even walk straight anymore.
But I always had like this just desire to create things, but I didn't have much artistic value. And I started taking CAD in high school, and my uncle found me a career path through being an engineer. He was like, I think this would work for you. So I looked into it, I was like, yeah, that would give me the opportunity to do the bike thing if I want to chase it. or whatever else I want to do. Because I found that I can't draw for shit. My carving, I could probably get it better to a certain point, but if you saw it right now, you'd laugh your ass off. But I can make exactly what I'm thinking of in here inside of SolidWorks. I can make anything.
Awesome.
Although I have machining experience, so I also know that just because I can 3D model it doesn't mean you can machine it. So I make things that can actually be made too. And that's kind of where like I have a version of SolidWorks at home, and I've been thinking about it. I was like, if I could get like just that hand thing, and I've chipped away at it 3 different times now. I actually did pick it up. I forgot about this a month ago, and I started doing a little bit more carving, and it's starting to get closer. I want to get to a point where I can like just throw it inside SolidWorks and start building on a model, because I have a buddy that owns a machine shop, and I'd be very happy to pay him his time to knock me up, a one-off cavity to do an open pour on a soft body. That'd be fun.
Why not?
Yeah.
Just got to get it rolling.
Yep, I gotta find the time. And when I started 2 years ago, it was in the middle of winter. I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna have time because we don't really fish that much in the winter.
Yeah.
And that was the first year in the winter we were like,
We're going fishing.
we could totally keep fishing.
Still open
Yeah, you guys were fishing until when did you guys stop fishing
I
last?
didn't.
The last 3 winters in a row, we fished right into January.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and
You're right. I mean, you mean cold.
No, it's good. I love the cold. Deep water. It's fun.
we had this past winter wasn't that bad because I actually went out and bought ice fishing gear, like the floating insulated ice gear. That made all the difference in the world. Like I had some really good layers set up, but it was still pretty cold. So between that and then get one of those little buddy heaters that guys have in their ice shacks. So when your hands get really cold, just fire that thing up and like not even 2 minutes, your hands are back to normal. Like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to rock for another 20 minutes before I can feel my hands again. So that made a huge difference.
You ever try rubber gloves?
I've heard of it. I don't like my hands sweating.
And that's the problem.
And they sweat even when it's 10 degrees out.
Yep. And then that, as soon as you start sweating, that's what gets you cold and it makes it 10 times worse. That's why I haven't done it, because my hands start sweating immediately when I put on rubber gloves like him.
I'll do that in the fall time when I'm fishing at night, because the rain, especially when it gets cold at night, and if it rains a little bit or whatever, as long as my hands stay dry, it seems like I can fish a little longer.
Yep. What I found for me that worked best was the Cabela's Guideware gloves, and I haven't found anybody else that makes a really good pair like that yet. Granted, I haven't had to really look because my Cabela's ones were great, and they're the fingerless ones, but just that last knuckle is exposed, and it's got that gauntlet that comes down quite a bit, so it tucks inside my jacket.
Yep.
And then they're Gore-Tex, so they're not insulated, but that's okay. I still have really good, flexibility and dexterity. It keeps the wind off my hands, and that's just enough. So between that and then using the buddy heater, and always have to have a towel in the boat. So when we're just dealing with fish, they get a little bit wet, get to dry them off as best I can, go to the buddy heater for a minute, back at it.
That's awesome.
I didn't wear gloves even ice fishing for the last 5 or 6 years. 5 years? 4 or 5 years?
Yep.
No gloves?
No gloves at all.
No,
ice
he's an
fishing,
animal.
no nothing. Like scooping out
Great
holes of ice and just. But now it's like I have like as soon as they get cold, my hands are in so much pain. Like it hurts so bad. I'm just like damaged them now. It sucks.
I swear to God, that started right about the same time. Sorry, go ahead.
You probably get nerve damage from getting your hands too cold. Frostbite.
Probably, yeah,
Maybe.
Probably.
I think your hands. I swear to God, that started right at the time we got the buddy heater, because you were fine that whole time until we put that on the boat, and you were like, oh, my hands they're a little cold. I'll try it. And I think your hands felt that. They're like, buddy, why haven't we done this before? And then you took them back in the cold. They're like, no, we're not doing this anymore.
They just don't move.
Put me back in the heat.
So bad. But I was used to it for, probably 4 or 5 years, and just not using gloves ever at all in the cold, even if it was negative 20 out. We're out ice fishing or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But now I need them.
What do you think that is? Like age thing, maybe?
It's got to be. Well, then the fact that you work with your hands all the damn time.
Being a little bitch.
I've always had to wear gloves. I've always had a problem with keeping my feet and my hands warm, but
yeah,
it's all good.
Keep
Once the feet get cold, game
Yep.
over.
Oh yeah,
I'm fucking
Yep.
done.
I got my nice DC fuzzy boots now though, so my feet stay nice and warm. Those things are awesome.
Yeah, I want to kind of get one of those.
What are they, snowboarding boots?
No, they're like a light duty insulated like DC shoe. It's like a high top DC shoe, and it's just got like insulation in it. And dude, oh my god, they're like slippers. They're so comfortable.
Oh.
And they keep, unless it's like blowing really hard and it's like 20 degrees out, my feet stay toasty. Nice pair of good wool socks, those shoes,
Yep.
best combo.
Wool socks.
Gret said
yeah.
Sunday morning I was numb. You
So-
are a pussy. I was waist deep in the water on
Yeah,
Sunday morning.
You're a skinny dude like me too, so I get cold too, man.
Yep.
I
You need
bundle
little
up. I put
Dad
a
bod
lot-
on you boys.
I usually don't get cold at all, like ever.
No.
Until
Quick.
like it's either my hands or my feet, and then I'm done.
Yep. We got a few more people here in the chat I really want to talk to really quick. Swimbait Scrutiny has a good question, but really quick, Dan, hey buddy, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. Where did he go? I just saw it. Something moved. Oh, Fish in the Southeast. SolidWorks is really cool. I messed around with it and made it crankbait. And then Jim B, 3D printer to work with your CAD. I've used it all. I've been using SolidWorks since 2005 when I was a sophomore in college. I'm extremely proficient in it. I've done a lot of training with it. Love it. Been using 3D printers for many years now. That would be the way I would do it. Like if I really wanted to kind of do it myself for like a one-off run on a relatively cheap basis, like there are so many resources to do 3D printed models of anything. If you can export it out of, it's XTL, I think is the file format. 3D file out to XTL, I think. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. And you can, there's like, oh, what the hell was it? Shapeways.com. If that's still in business. They've got, no. They've got like, I think now they're up to like 30 different materials they'll print anything out in for you. And obviously, depending on the material, your price is going to vary. But like if for like a pure hobbyist where you want to do like a one-off for like yourself, you could do a 3D print of something. I'm not sure what the best method is to smooth it out because not all 3D printers are created equal and some have better resolution than others. So it might come out like kind of bumpy where you can like, you know, the layer thickness isn't as thin as you might want it to be. So you might have to do some sanding and maybe some Bondo to kind of smooth it over. Then you could do like a silicone pour over it and make a couple of your own baits that way. I have thought about that, trust me. But that's why I started with the wood because I could do the same thing. Just carve it myself and then pour a silicone mold, pour a couple of baits, be like, that's dog shit. Who knew?
Kind of what I was thinking of doing to make a glide bait, and I want to make my own glide so bad.
Do it
Like
this winter.
big.
Yeah. But anyway, so Swimbait Scrutiny had a question for you. What line do you throw the gill on? And I'm going to expand on that and ask, what is your primary setup that you're throwing for everything? So line, rod, and reel, and then what else do you have for other rod combos?
Rod.
Oh, here we go.
So,
Dude's ready.
so for the Sherpa gill, I throw it on this right here. This is a 8-foot Leviathan Omega, 12 to 30 pound mod fast, 2 to 6 ounces.
There you go.
Yeah, you can get these on their website. It's probably the best rod I've ever had for any treble hook baits.
Nice.
I've had a different version of this one, a 8'3", which I really liked, but they discontinued those, I think, due to shipping. But the 8-footer, I started fishing this one after, and I fell in love with that rod. It's I started landing a lot more fish with it, put it that way. Keeping them pinned better. The bend on the rod handles the bait and the fish very well, and it's very lightweight. What else could I think about? So for the line, I've kept this on the low for a little bit, but I
Don't
figured
divulge anything you don't want to.
no, it's line. It's cool. So, you know, a lot of people ask me what I throw for braid, and you know, usually I'll just tell them to go get Power Pro, which is fine. You know, the V2 slick stuff, because a lot of people don't want to spend that extra money. But Max Quattro, that stuff is really, really good.
Yeah.
So
Never used it.
I got 65 or 60-pound max quattro on that reel right now, but the diameter is like 25% thinner than what a regular 60-pound braid would be. And it's a pretty noticeable difference too. And so ever since I started using that, I've been using that for about over a year now. And
You just run a straight braid, or you throw a
straight braid
leader
for
on?
the gill, yes. Straight
Yeah.
braid for the gill. Even on my soft bait setups, I run braid, but I run that with like a 7-foot leader.
Mm-hmm.
So, my experience with mono has not been the best. So in my early years, so I kind of veered away from that and always stuck to braid.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not saying you have to use braid with the bait. If a lot of guys like co-poly. I'm kind of intrigued to try it too, but I'm kind of stuck in my ways sometimes. Been with the braid for so long, it's done me good so far. Although I do feel like I could be putting some putting some of the fish that I drop with the braid setup when they jump. Those fish I might be able to keep pinned with the co-poly.
Yep.
But I don't know. Do I really want to sacrifice that? Because my cadence, I am so in tune with the bait, with the braid, because the sensitivity's right there.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I move this reel like this much, I already feel that bill, the head shifting to the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So with co-poly, I couldn't find that. It was a little soggy for me. It's the best way to kind of define it.
Yeah, it's like going from braid to like mono.
Yeah, exactly. Co-poly's got a
Feels
little.
like you reel and it stretches and then it catches back up.
Yes, yeah. It was cool. I just spooled it up for 2 days and I was like, yeah, I'm putting braid back on. But yeah, so I guess maybe it's just a preference thing. For me, I just do it braid.
I've got 4 swimbait combos now, and when I first started, I had straight braid, and it worked until I started throwing some bigger baits. I didn't have the best reel set up at the time, and I snapped off too many baits. And I was like, okay, I got to go back to fluoro. And I went back to Seaguar Abrasics, 20-pound, straight fluoro. And that worked really well until I wanted to fish topwater again. And some of those baits, it didn't really want to work. Like the big baits, it seems to be fine. But then this year at the Swimbait Expo, I was talking with the Big Bass Streams guys, and Joe was like, well, have you tried the Defiant line? I was like, no. Actually, can you grab that really quick, Andrew? It's that spool right there by the reel, because I can't remember if it's the smooth casting or not. And it's a 23.8 pound, which is kind of weird that it's like a decimal. You all right there, Super
I
G?
don't know why I stuck my finger in there.
Thanks, 2 of us. Soft casting. Okay. So Defiant soft casting, it's 23.6 pound. I take that back. And I've been really impressed with this.
Yeah, so have I.
Focus. It won't do it.
I went from using like 20-pound either Red Label or Abrazex,
God damn it.
and then going to that. It's just so much smoother.
It is.
I can't even explain it. It's just way smoother.
Yep. And that, just even going from the 20 pound to the 23.6 pound on this, even with topwaters, like my bigger topwaters I have is the Monk from LFOD.
Yep.
And I've got the Juice Rat, which is a little bit, the OD Rat,
Yep.
the Juice Rat, the Swimbait Scrutiny combo there. Collaboration. There we go, Sean. And I mean, that's as long, but it's a little bit thinner and a little bit lighter. But this stuff, it almost acts like braid with how well it sits on the surface, where, fluoro wants to sink. This doesn't quite want to seem to sink as fast or as easily as like any of my other fluorocarbon. I don't know if it's just because of that, whether it's the soft casting version or if it's just because I had extra line weight by comparison, but I have been incredibly impressed with this. And I throw it on my heaviest duty swim bait rod that I have, and all my biggest baits, I only throw in that stuff, because even when
Yep.
if I don't get a good cast and I kind of hang up a little bit on it, like I haven't broke off anything on it yet. Unlike that Bait Sanity Explorer glide that I lost this year on my 20-pound Abrasics.
Yeah, my
dude,
depth's 250
Dude,
that
it's
I
happened to all of
broke
us.
off on 20-pound Abrazex.
I broke off my taxi glide. I got it off from Vic, dude. I was so pumped. This was like a couple years ago. First cast, dude. Gone.
See ya.
I'm like, oh no, you do
No.
that trolling motor shuffle where you like fumbling the remote and trying to get the boat over there, but it's gone.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Is that a slow sink? How fast is that sinking? It's already on the bottom.
So
Shit.
for fluoro, I really like Tatsu. It's not cheap.
No, and
I justify it by saying I only use it 7 feet at a time.
see, there you go.
Leader material.
Yep, and that's all I use it for now. I tried using it for what the hell did I buy? I bought 20-pound, and I forget what I was throwing it on. Dude, I broke it off left, right, and center. It's a brand new spool. It's from Tackle Warehouse, so I'm confident that it was a relatively new spool. And dude, I couldn't do it.
Wild.
And then same deal with a 15-pound when we were fishing jigs up on Champlain. I had two different rods set up that were both jig rods, and one had a brand new spool of 15-pound Tatsu, and then the other one had 15-pound Abrasics. I broke. How many fish did I break off on that Tatsu
Oh.
before I ended up breaking?
Was it cold out?
No, it was nice
Oh,
out. It was beautiful. It was warm out.
75, 80.
Yeah, that was that first like
Weird.
heat wave we actually had up here because it was in the in early to mid May.
Hmm.
I don't know what the problem was. Otherwise, like everything else I've used Tatsu for, I love that line is phenomenal, dude. It was so good, and especially even fishing for jigs for a little bit, it was great. But then I just got into one bad spool, and now my confidence is shook because I haven't had that issue with my Abrasics yet.
Sure. Yeah. I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely give that Defiant line a try.
I am beyond impressed with it. I have enough here. It's how many? 300 meters.
300 meter spool.
300 meters. What is that? Almost 1,200 feet? 1,100 and something feet?
5 feet, I think.
Is it 1 meter, 3.8 feet? Something like that. I'm
It's a
pretty sure.
long
I'm going to look
friggin'
it
way.
up. I'm going to look it up.
Google.
Put pedometer on it. Run that way.
1 meter.
Stop at
3
300
feet. Oh, I was a little off. 3 feet, 3.37 inches.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty close.
3 point. Wait, that's 1.4. 3. Yeah, 3.3 ish.
Do the math.
Hmm.
1,050 feet. I don't know. I have no idea.
No, it's not. Math, quick shot. Yeah, it's almost 1,000 feet. 990 feet, something like that. Anyway, that's a lot of friggin' line.
I made a number up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's essentially a 300-yard spool.
Yeah.
330-yard spool. So then that comes to the question from Tiago. How many yards of Quattro are you spooling on that 300K that you have?
That's a great question. So that line's not cheap.
No.
I try to use the minimum I can. I'll spool like, say I get like a 300-yard spool. I'll try to get 3 spools out of that. So like,
Oh, wow, there you go.
So I'll do like 100 yards, 100 yards, 110 yards. What I'll do is I'll put a backing on that on the reel, like
Yep.
up to like halfway, a little bit more than halfway, just so, and then I just fill the whole rest of it up with the braid.
Mhm.
I was going at the the wrong way, wasting a whole another 150 yards.
Filling the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've done that before, and it's like over time you realize you're like, I'm just wasting so much line.
Yeah, because by the time you get down to a point where the way you're doing it now,
Yeah.
you ran out, you'd have to re-spool it. By the time you get down to that point, if you just spooled the whole reel,
Yep.
that's got so much memory in it down at the bottom, it ends up
Right.
not performing right.
I like to have a full spool too. Like once my spool gets lower than, say, if it gets a little bit, quarter inches too. If it gets down to a quarter inch, I'm starting to re-spool already. It's about time.
Yeah.
But 1/8 of an inch to quarter inch is how I, anything lower than 1/8 of an inch, I don't really like. Especially, I've been so in tune with the 300 Conquest and the Curado 300. So if I don't have like a full spool, it affects my retrieve speed because the reel's not reeling as fast. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yep.
So one thing that was really weird and kind of funny, I figured out over just, trial and error, was that so a 200 size Curado, that's a 7-gear ratio reel. That reel reels pretty much the same amount of line as my Conquest, which is a 6.3 and a 300 size. And I figured that out by my cadence.
There you go.
3 Mississippi per reel turn. And I'm like, wait, how am I reeling this reel the same? You know, what was the other one? You know, when this one's a 7-speed, that one's a 6-speed, but it's because it makes up for it by the spool size.
Gotcha.
Right.
No, makes sense.
Yeah. Just a little thing that I thought about.
Yeah, figure something out.
So, on the topic of line and big swim baits,
Yeah.
for me, because I mean, you know us, I'm still very much more a conventional angler than big swim baits, though we do both. But when it comes to retying, how often are you retying? What's dictating it? Like, are you like on a almost like a pitch count with how many times you're throwing
Dude,
that before you're retying? Because
I
my man here is starting to learn the hard way about retying often.
retie religiously, dude. Like,
My man.
yeah, gotta retie. So perfect example, dude. Last week I broke off a 5-pounder on the crawler.
Oh,
I got it, so I was casting it out, hooked the fish, you know, feel it run, boom, broke off. I'm like, oh my god, no, it's my last crawler.
oh no.
Damn. Good thing you make them.
Already lost 3 of them. So, anyways, I looked around for the fish, nothing, but I know it's gonna jump. It's got the crawler in its face, so eventually it jumped. Go over to it. It's literally tired as hell. Just the gill plate's going like this on like a brush pile. You just scoop it up with a net, dude.
You're lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, but I try, you know, when I remember, say like, you know, retrieve my bait. If I remember, I just turn my headlamp on, check like the, you know, good like
First
2,
couple
3
feet.
feet of my line. Yeah. Especially with the crawler because the wings are coming over like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm noticing these little nicks on the front of my line up there, and I'm not sure if it's from the wing or if it's from when the line gets wrapped around the hook. But I've noticed that a couple times, so I'm trying to keep an eye on that.
So you fish braid.
Yes.
Oliver
resolve
was
that.
talking about this. What?
Probably resolve that with the leader, maybe.
Exactly. Oliver was just talking about this during one of our recent streams, and he was like, tie on, what did he say, 50-pound mono?
50
Okay.
or 60
He
pounds.
ties on a 3 or 4 inch long
shocker.
leader of some ridiculously high weight mono, so that it's still pretty
Said it goes up
stiff.
to even 80,
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, but then it makes it so that your flexible normal weight line is well
Right.
ahead of all your hooks and stuff. And he says it completely or almost completely negates how much just the line wraps around on the cast and any
I think
potential
that's
for anything
great.
to come up and nick it.
I think that's a great idea. I'm gonna actually try that tonight.
There you go.
Are you going out tonight?
Got like an FG knot to it.
I don't know what he ties. I can't remember if he ties FG or Alberto.
I think you went FG when it was a lot higher.
I mean, if it's that short, I don't think it really matters, right? It's not going to be going back through the guide.
No, you're right. I'm just which one is easier to tie. Well, actually, I don't think you can go wrong with either one.
Not the FG.
What'd you say?
Probably not the FG.
Dude,
No,
the
I
F
think the.
is fun.
Nah,
Trying to think.
It's a fancy knot.
it is
I
a
haven't
fancy
broke
knot.
that one off yet. Alberto's
FG.
nice, but I just don't like the fact that when I'm reeling for a recast, comes back in through the guide, it gets stuck. That tag end.
Really? Oh, okay. Yeah, the tag end.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the only one.
FG, I don't even, dude. When I'm reeling it in, I didn't even know I reeled in the knot.
I need to get back to tying that one.
Dude,
I tied it for like
so
3
fun.
weeks and then I totally forgot what I was doing.
It's so fun, bro. I'll send you the link for the video that I learned how to do it. The guy explained it very nicely. Wrapped it around the pinky.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to see that one, please, and thank you. Swimmates, greet me with another one. When do you put down the hard baits and pick up the soft baits?
So, I like picking up the soft baits. Like, say, if I'm going fishing in the daytime in the summer, maybe go out do some offshore fishing. I'll pick up the soft baits then. But when I actually put the hard baits down and start really dialing on the soft baits would be end of the fall, the fall bite once they start fish pretty much moved out deep. I pretty much chase those fish into the wintering zones and the wintering spots and fish deep water. like 30 feet, 40 feet. It's good. It's very, very, very slow fishing, dude. It's so slow. It's so
Yeah.
slow,
Oh
but
yeah.
dude, they doink it, and I don't know.
So that's one of the things we started really learning the last couple of years is just like that deep late offshore bite, and if you can be patient and slow it way down, oh my god, is it rewarding. You still
Dude,
gotta find the right spots, and that's the hardest part because the number of productive areas shrinks dramatically, but when you find them they're usually stacked. It's just
yeah,
you're looking for one giant pile,
right,
but out of like just an astronomical water. Now, if a lake typically has, I don't know what, 40% of good fishable water, once you get later in the year, it's more like 10 to 15%.
right, right.
But my God, is that 10 to 15% loaded? So it's worth it when you can find it. But yeah,
Mhm.
like same deal, just fishing insanely slow. But the number of big fish we've caught from doing that is
Mm-hmm.
insane. And I got two Defiance for my big swim baits. I intend on throwing it at the end of this year. I still have a HUD that I did throw a little bit last year, and I'm looking forward to that myself a little bit more this year. Trying
Dude,
to
they
really commit
call
to
it
that.
the technique is called tractoring. So
Okay.
for fishing like in the cold with soft baits, it's pretty much like they call it tractoring because you kind of want to be positioned shallower. You want to be positioned. Position your boat shallower. Say there's a flat. I mean, say there's a point that you're fishing. You're going to be on top of the point, casting into deep water and bringing that bait back to you. But you're dredging the bottom with it,
Yep.
pretty much
Mhm.
dragging it the whole time. I just remember someone calling it tractoring, and I thought it was kind of cool.
There was
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There was a guy I used to watch, it's Tackle Warehouse. I don't know if they still do because I just don't really have much time to watch YouTube myself anymore. But up until like 4 years ago, I used to watch like everything Tackle Warehouse put religiously because they made phenomenal content, and I just haven't kept up with it, so I don't know if it's still the same or not. And they did a lot on swim baits at one point, and there was this guy out there in California. He was present when one of the first like 3 rapid fire world record spotted bass was caught out there. It was the first 3 because then what was it?
11.5 pounds.
Tim of Tactical Bassin broke it, and then Cody Meyer broke it. But it was the first guy. And there was this gentleman, he lived for fishing those giant HUDs, and he was talking about doing exactly that out there on those California reservoirs and doing that. He's shut up shallow, and he'd be looking for like those really deep offshore rock piles or just like at the bottom of crazy steep banks and doing exactly that. Like watching him fish like you do with your topwater baits, and he's just barely,
Yeah.
barely cranking that thing, and he's like, I can feel the nose of that bait as it's just plowing along, and I'm trying to keep it along all that and just feel every contour of every boulder.
Yes.
The plus side to that too is if I reel and it stops, I give it a second, because if it's a bass, I'm gonna feel a secondary bite. But if it's stopped, I shut it down. I know I'm in a rock. And that's when he gets his bait knocker. He just sends it right down, pops it out, reels it up, tries again. But that technique specifically you just talked about with tractor, and it's just that's what that guy was always doing with those giant HUDs, and he was catching giants doing it.
Dude, and I feel like a lot of the times, if you fish that bait slow enough, you'll never get it hung up.
Yeah,
I mean,
I believe
unless
it.
like you're, fishing some super jagged. I mean, you could get it hung up,
I
but
could think of a spot like that.
for me, if
Yeah,
I'm
I could lose a
fishing
few
slow,
baits.
bro, it's really hard to get a bait hung up.
Yep.
It's like, I'm reeling even my soft baits, like I'm reeling it so slow that I have a slack line, dude. So one thing I wanted to tell you guys was what I learned from like, my experience throwing the gill and what I got out of it, like especially fishing it with the slow wake that I talk about, like that 3-second retrieve, like 3 second per revolution.
Yep.
Dude, me doing that for like the past 2-3 years, right? That's what's helped me like fish my soft baits. Like learn, I that curve was easy for me because I already learned. I already knew how to creep my bait. So like to creep a soft bait, I just had to tell myself, all right, I'm just waking the gill, but it's on the bottom. It's on the bottom. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it was the same thing. So and I don't know, man. I really find a lot more success fishing those things slower than I have fast, especially with the bigger bites for me. You know,
That's what the
when I'm
like
fishing in
almost
mid
every bait for
column,
me though.
I'll get bites, but they've all been like 4-pounders or under. You know, when I'm fishing down on the rocks, real slow bottom, it's always been like 5s and 6s. All my 6s have got them on the bottom.
I think most of ours have too. Now I think about
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I don't know. I just
No.
think maybe
Well,
One. There's that one I got in the jackhammer 4 years ago now. That 6-pound, 2-ounce.
I got one in the jerk bait.
Other than that, though, I think all of them have been on the bottom.
Yeah. No. I got one on the square bill.
Oh, come on. Fucking this kid. You're an outlier.
But the
Get
rest,
out.
But the rest of them, yes, are on the bottom.
you got that 7 too. I saw that video. That was a cool video. On the black jig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're 7-7.
Yeah, I got that one twice.
He did.
You got the same fish twice?
Twice, yeah.
We looked at
Oh, that's
pictures,
so
like
cool.
heavily scrutinized the pictures, pixel
Yeah.
by pixel.
I
We were like,
literally went in and like edited the pictures to like they looked horrible. Like the pictures looked like shit, but you could tell the pattern on the fish. And it
Okay.
had these like 5 dots that were shaped in like an N on
Yeah.
the same side in both pictures. You could see it.
yep.
You know, that's crazy. You know what else is crazy? So my buddy Pat, he's fished my gill a lot, and he's got his PB on there too.
Yep.
So about that fish, right? So he caught that fish, and it was 7-4, right?
Mhm.
Dude, the next year, I caught that fish on the gill again, same bait, and it was a quarter pound heavier.
Damn.
So
Really?
I don't know, I
Was
just
it in the same area or like totally
same
different area?
exact spot, bro.
No shit.
Dude, I took the same cast from the same spot, and he
Same bait.
dude, same bait. Yep,
Damn.
time too, pretty similar. Yeah,
That fish is looking up like, this motherfucker's back, huh?
So I got mine the first time in March, the end of March, and there was still snow on the ground.
really.
And then
Yeah, no, we literally snow blow it off the boat ramp 3 days before we could fish it.
Ugh.
It was over a foot of
Yeah.
snow on the ramp. We went snow blowed it on a Friday so we could fish it on a Sunday.
and then I caught that in the rocks. And then the second time I got it, she was kind of cruising outside of a bed, but she wasn't on the bed. She was just kind of cruising around, and there was a 6 1/4 right next to it, and then like a 3 1/2, and we got all 3 of them.
Oh, nice. That's a good bait.
Yeah, it was sick.
Oh yeah.
That was crazy though. I can't believe I got that thing again.
Yeah, dude, that video got my blood going. I was like, oh, it's so sick.
Yeah, the first time I was losing my shit.
Oh yeah, dude.
It was like, oh my god, it's huge.
I remember seeing him because I was like looking back at the GoPro because I had that little fish and I watched him set the hook and like the rod's just like, I'm like,
It was
That's big.
also
was that the skeet reese rod?
6'6" medium.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. It was that skeet reese yellow rod,
Yeah, it
right?
was a skeet reese yellow. It was like a $60 rod.
Yeah, I don't remember who made those.
I honestly,
remember the rod,
don't-
though.
I have it sitting right in my room still.
Do you
I
really?
retired it after like 2 days after that.
Retired, put it up on the wall.
Yep. This one's done. If I catch another fish on this thing, it's gonna break. I'm all set. I might take it out of retirement and use it as like a soft plastic rod or something. It'd be kind of cool.
You should do it. Do it.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so all right, I got another question for you. I don't want to keep you too long because I know you're gonna go fishing.
No worries, bro.
For people that want to get into big swim baits, and I've asked this question for everybody we've had that really is dedicated to fishing those big baits, but it's always cool because everybody has a different perspective on it. Like, what is your best advice, other than patience, for anybody that's like looking to get into fishing big baits and like they want to dedicate like time and resources to it? And that can be, advice from either just the actual act of fishing with it or towards what gear they should be at least eyeing up to get started with so they're not going to shoot themselves in the foot and lose either bait or fish later. Like anything, just like some really good solid starter advice you'd like to give anybody that's looking to get into it.
I think, it's let's start off by saying it's not cheap.
Truth.
You can go two routes, obviously. You can get a budget set up. Obviously, the most important thing is you're going to want to have equipment to throw these baits, because you don't want to buy, you know, say you bought a piz bait, but you don't have a rod to throw it with. I mean, it's you're going to be handicapped there. So first, number one, I would
I'm
take
already handicapped.
equipment.
Same.
I think, there's tons of options out there for 300 size reels. And I think a 300 size reel is key, because with a 200 size reel, yeah, it'll make do. But when you're making a really long cast, like you're gonna have like no line left on your reel. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Or you're gonna be close to your backing, and then it's gonna affect how much line you're taking up every revolution of your reel until you get a full spool again. At least for me, it bothers me. So I feel like 300 size is good. And then after that, I would say definitely get yourself a rod. So rods are a little tricky because it's gonna be.
It's gonna
I
be
would say
expensive.
look no further than Leviathan, the Omegas, because this rod right here, it covers a wide range of baits. It goes from 2 to 6 ounces, and this will cover pretty much all your treble hook baits, as long as they're not over like 6 ounces. I mean, not many people throwing 6 ounce baits on the regular. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no.
All the baits are like around like 2.5 to like 4, roughly.
Yep.
So this rod will handle it perfectly. If you want something else more budget than that, I don't really want to recommend it, but I've seen tons of guys, and even myself. I started out with like a Okuma Guide Select or like a Dobbins 806, just so you have an 8 foot rod. You know what I'm saying? But those
Yep.
rods aren't meant for treble hook baits. Those rods are meant for like jig hook baits, like soft baits. Because if you think about it, those 806s, they're a heavy fast action, which is pretty much a jig rod.
Yep.
And you want to look at this like this is your crankbait rod, because it's a mod fast. So it's definitely gonna help you land more fish if you get the mod fast for your treble hook baits. But any 8 foot rod, I guess, will do just to get you in. But I would really highly recommend you get the moderate fast action Omegas. Aside from that, I mean, after you get your gear and all that ready, you just need to put time in. And I feel like we are so fortunate today to live in the time we live and have the internet and all the information just on YouTube, and study up on that. And I would fish. I would watch a lot of the tactical bassin guys stuff. Those guys know what they're talking about. I watch a lot of their videos, and it helps me out a lot. I'm still learning myself too. So it's what do you call it? It's been an awesome experience, and just trying to adapt to the changes. And how fishing's just evolving every year with all these new electronics and stuff.
So are the fish.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If you have any questions, you can anytime just message me on Facebook or Instagram, and I might not get to it right away, but I look at my messages every morning and every night. So when I see it, I'll be more than happy to help you out with like any recommendation or any questions or whatever.
Hell yeah.
But
I got questions. You thinking about making a glide soon?
well, dude, earlier I told you the live scope and the glide.
He's working on it.
Yeah.
I know.
So I'm currently carving it out so I can have it for the fall to fish. But we'll see if I get it done by then. So I got a lot of work to do after this drop. I got to get prepared for the Gathering 4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Get prepared for that, and then it's gonna be fall time. Probably gonna be fishing hard here, and then you got to get prepared for the winter show.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You going back this year? Obviously. You just
Yes.
being prepared
Yeah,
for it.
You doing Doing both New England and the swim bait?
I'm definitely gonna be at the January show. I am not 100% on the swim bait show yet because if it's in April, I'm not doing it because I missed the pre-spawn bite this year.
Oh, yeah.
Not missing
No.
the pre-spawn bite next
No,
year.
I don't blame you.
No way. But
I'm actually going to look.
yeah. So
I think he actually already announced it.
it's that last week of March, first week of April,
Oh, I know. Oh, it's
be
good.
out there.
No, it's in March. Northeast Swim Bait Expo, March 18th to 19th, 2023.
All right.
Looks like we'll see you at the Northeast Swim Bait Expo.
Sure. Yeah.
Although we did have a very phenomenal March.
Oh, we did.
27-pound day in
Yeah.
March. Or is that March or April? I think that was March.
It was cold. I don't know. It was
Back into
it
the
was-
archives.
It was cold, but it was warm for the time of year for that day.
What was that?
Yeah, it was like that one random day in between a bunch of really shit cold weather.
And the water somehow jumped up to 52 degrees.
Yep.
Dude, I left here, right, for Mexico in April, I think. Yeah. So I left here. It was the water temp was 46, right? Or 47 or something like that. I come
Yeah.
back a week later, dude. It's like 63. 64.
Jesus. Well, you're right on the coast, right?
No. It must have been that week when it really warmed up here. I was down in Mexico for like 8 days or 7 days. When I left, the water temperature was in like the high 40s. When I came back, it was in the 60s.
Yeah, there was like a
Damn.
week where it just like shot up.
Yep.
And then it kind of like dropped back down again.
Yeah.
And then it kind of somewhat made its way back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was March 21st. Was the day we had the 27-pound bag.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad. And then the weekend before we had the
7-pound bags, solid day, bro. You killing me?
whoa,
Yeah.
it's a phenomenal.
Yeah, that
day.
was fun. That was crazy. I swear to God, I hadn't ate that day, but it ended up being only.
Is it a
3
mixed bag or all largies?
all
It
largies.
was all RGs.
We had
What was your kicker?
was it mine or yours?
5
Hang on, I
3/4.
just had it. No, yeah, it was yours. It was a 5.8, I think.
Oh, that's an awesome day.
Hell, oh, it didn't actually say what it was. No,
I don't remember. Maybe I have it.
I'm pretty sure it was 5.8,
I don't know.
but I didn't write the exact weight on this. That was stupid, Sean. Why did I do that?
Mine was loading, so.
Yeah, whatever. 5.8. We'll call it.
Oh, I just burped wicked gross in myself.
Nice. I like it. I don't. It's disgusting. Make me sick. All right, chat. If you got any more questions for Mr. Sherpa, let's hear it. Otherwise, we'll wrap up this portion. We'll cut you loose, buddy. Let you go out and get some night fishing. I'll touch lightly a little bit on this whole Bass Nation thing, which now that my emotions have calmed down, I'm calm. But I was heated about that earlier. It's way less to do with Bass Nation. Did you see what they changed?
No, fill me in on it real quick.
So you could always try and there's 3 opens, right? There's the Northern, the Central, and the Southern. There's 3 tournaments per division, and top 5 points at the end of the season in each division got an invite to the elites.
Okay.
They're changing it for 2023. They announced it today. You have to now fish all 9 tournaments, and then the top 9 in points. I think it was the top 9 in points. Then gets the invite to the elites. So what would have been, I think it's almost $6,000 to fish just 3, to fish 1 whole opens.
Yeah.
Then plus travel expenses and the whole 9 yards. You're probably looking at like at least $7,000 to be out there for a week to chase it. 3 weeks, like that's a lot. But like I love tournament fishing. I did it a lot, and then we kind of reeled it in the last couple of years because got to a point again where I was like, we still have a lot more learning to do. At least I still have a lot more learning to do. And we just continue to travel and trying to learn to break down more water and fill in the last bit of gaps. So, finally got to a point where it's like, okay, there's literally not a single time of the year where I don't feel confident about catching good fish in any conditions, period. And so this year where I was like, maybe I'll fish the New Hampshire Bass Nation Trail because now I might have enough time. And I've only fished Winnie 25 times total in my life, which for a lake that big is nothing. And I want to do fish that trail more, but going against guys with decades of experience on there, like it's tough to do it on the fly when I also don't have time to like do some scouting ahead of it. So then like I finally got a job where I'm making like really good money, and I've got more vacation time than I've ever had in my life. So I was like, okay, I could fish New Hampshire Bass Nation and like dedicate a week per tournament for the 4 tournaments. It's like, or I could just go for broke and fish the opens. And I know it's not going to be easy. Never once thought it would be easy, but that's why I'm more intrigued about doing it. I want the challenge of pushing myself outside of New Hampshire. I don't want to just keep fishing all the New Hampshire stuff. I want to go fish against people that are much, much, much better than me. People in New Hampshire definitely are anyway, especially a lot of the tournament guys around here. But I want to go for it. I want to get the big experience. I've done a lot of the different size tournaments around here in New Hampshire, and we've done well. We came in second at 54 boat tournament on Newfound. We've won a bunch of tournaments that are, like the 10 to 15 boat range. And like I'm not new to tournament fishing. I just don't do it as much as a lot of other people do.
Yep.
So I was like, I really want to have a shot at it. If I'm going to dedicate a week of my time into scouting for something, like I want it to be something really worthwhile, not just monetary wise, but also like what it could do for me for potential down the road and stuff. And whether or not, if I fish the opens and I made the cut to the elites, would I chase that? I don't know. But if I could get to that point and have that option, that would be incredible to know that I did that well. So I was like, I don't know. I've seen some people not criticize, just bringing up like, not just today. Like this has come up many times in the past too, where people are like, you really should like cut your teeth on local stuff and then go up there. And like haven't stuck to a tournament trail for a whole season yet, but I don't know. For me, like I don't feel I need to do that to go up to that next level and start competing at that level. And I could be entirely wrong, but I don't know. I'm at that point where like my confidence in what I do and how I do it is there. I just never had the time to commit to it. Now I have the time. I'm like, well, I kind of want to go for the bigger paycheck. If nothing else, it will be a much better learning experience because of the different type of people I'll be able to meet, and then the diversity in what I'm fishing more than anything. Get out of New England, do something a lot different, and really test myself in different areas of what I'm doing. Then again, I could probably do it a little cheaper if I went for like the BFL series, the Toyota series or something. So that's probably what I'll end up doing next year instead anyway, but I don't know. We'll see. My whole plan this year when I got this job was to go after the opens. I really want to do that, man. And like I felt that we got what we're doing here to a point that we'd be able to get the money for most, if not all of the sponsors, from sponsors, because we've already made that kind of money doing what we do already. So jumping into a bigger tournament trail like that, I have high degree of confidence that my sponsors would be able to pony up that money anyway. I say pony up, like make the request, make our case, and instead of paying us money in one way, they could pay us money in another way. And it'd still be the same amount of money at the end of the day, but it covers everything that I'd want to be able to do. So I don't know. I was heated about it because of the timing of it. Mm-hmm. For the last couple of years, I've been like dying to get to a point where I'm like, hell yeah. I want to fish with the big boys, and I want the time and the money to be able to do that. And I finally get it. The moment I get to that point, the moment I make that commitment, yep, I'm going to go for it, and I don't care if I get my teeth kicked in. I know I'm going to learn regardless. And then they move the fucking goalposts on me. Like the moment I make that decision, it's like, what the hell? And it doesn't negate it, doesn't completely eliminate that option to do that tournament trail. But now that, forget the financial commitment, it's the time commitment. All 9 opens, you're gone for probably close to 10 weeks when you factor in the additional travel time to be able to take advantage of the entire practice period. I don't know anybody who's got a job that they don't own the company themselves. They could take 10 weeks off in a year and not lose their job.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Hey, I'll be back in, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. No.
Right. I know I get 5 weeks off anyway, but I'm going to need you to double that. And like, cool if you pay for it. Otherwise, I'm just going to take off. Just don't cut me a check. Like, now you're going to go 5 weeks unpaid like that. It just, I don't know. I was disappointed just because of the timing. I was like, I didn't take this decision lightly. I hemmed and hawed about it. I was like, maybe I really should. Like, I let other people get into my head, and then I was like, no, this is stupid. I know what I've been working towards this whole time. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to try, and I have a high degree of confidence in what I can get accomplished for support to make that attempt happen. And then the moment I figure out like 90% of it, they pulled the rug out from underneath me. And not just me, plenty of other people. And throw me out. Like, who gives a shit about me? I'm nothing and nobody in the end. But you think about what they've done to just the average working man and woman that wants to give that a shot. Dude, you can't now. Like, that's an insane amount of money you have to dedicate to fish all 9 of those to then get into something that in itself is its own mountain. Just making it to the elites and trying to compete in the elites, like, that is an insane task. And I saw the comments on my Facebook post, and I wholeheartedly agree with them. And I've seen that. I've heard the horror stories of guys going absolutely broke trying to chase that dream only for a year or two.
Yep.
But now they've put another fucking giant mountain in front of even trying to make it to that point. So that was like the whole thing where I'm like, are you kidding me about what this change was about? And I'm still not a fan of it, but whatever. I just won't fish for bass. I'll go do something else.
Yeah, hey, maybe it's a blessing in disguise, dude.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens like that. I always try to look at situations like that. It makes me feel better about it.
Like, hey, I'm saving a shit ton of money.
Yeah, there you go.
There's that.
Yeah, but hey, you never know, man. Everything happens for a reason. I believe so.
Yep. Hang on, I just saw a comment. Oh, South Jersey had a question for you. How hard was it for you to make the Sherpa crawler bait, and how long did it take you to get it perfect?
All right. So that bait, it was initially I was actually trying to turn it into I wanted to make a walking bait, but then I was like, wait, this bait's way too short.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna cut a joint into it and then turn it into a 2-piece crawler. But in the beginning, what the issue was just trying to get the bait to float, because the wings are very heavy, and if you don't have enough resin, then the bait's gonna be literally like either sinking, or it's gonna be like this in the water column, pretty much like with the butt end floating, but the wings down like this. So I didn't really like that at all. So I had to remake that a couple times to finally have it perfect, and then I kind of just started. I wasn't planning on fishing it right away. I actually just went out there and was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna toss it around tonight, see how it is. First night out, I caught it. I caught like a dink on it. I was like, oh, all right, maybe. And then the next night I went out, I caught a 6-pounder on it. I was like, all right, maybe.
That's awesome.
And then I just went back out and just kept fishing it because I couldn't stop.
So you didn't even tweak it after that? You just had it and you're like,
Oh,
all right,
no,
that's good enough.
No. From there, it's changed quite a bit because, just like I had to kind of teach myself, and I kind of learned from the internet and like obviously my own experience with the bait, kind of just how the bait functions and how to change the swim and how to change the pitch and the roll and the sound of the bait just by bending the wings. You get a 45-degree angle from the body, you get a complete different swim. You get more of a twist. You get a lot more twist, and also you get this. It looks like this in the water, like it's walking. This
Interesting.
with the twist.
It's like walking the dog without walking the dog.
Yeah. But with the wings at a 90, you don't get that twist. You get dude, it's weird. It goes side to side. You get less twist, more of the side to side oscillation, and the bait like flutters. It's like blah, 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 blah. It's pretty cool. And I'm noticing that with with your rod tip up, you get a complete different action. And also with your rod tip down, you get a different the noise is different.
Really?
I believe the noise is different when you keep that rod tip up like this, is because it's taking the weight off the front and nose of the bait.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Kind of like skip it across.
Higher more, dude. It flutters so good. If you get it tuned right, it flutters so good, dude. I'm literally going like this. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, it sounds so good out there, bro.
I can't wait to get one of those.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And everything on that bait is 316 stainless. The hardware is very, very durable. And also, inside, so this is where the hardware goes in there.
Yep.
There's plastic anchors set inside the body.
There
So
you go.
that's what my hardware, because I had to change the micro balloon ratio a little bit, so the resin is not as like hard. It's
Yep.
a little bit more soft. So I didn't want to mess with the integrity of the screws, because drilling is soft material. So I added anchors. There's anchors set into the body that get molded in with the molds. And dude, I haven't had one of these things come loose at all. With the older ones, when I was just screwing them in, after a good amount of fish, you'll feel a little wiggle. But now, nothing.
Nice.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
little things like that make a big difference. It does.
Who does the painting? Is it you or
Painting. So I like to do most of my painting, but sometimes, time to time, guys will reach out to me. Maybe you want to do a collab, or I'll reach out to some other guys, maybe do some collab. So we'll do small batch collabs here and there, but for the most part, I like to do my own paints.
nice? Oh, they come out really good.
They came out phenomenal.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude. I still got a lot to learn. It's
That's what makes you great, though. That's what separates people from others. Is just that constant drive and desire to improve upon what they're doing. Never really, maybe not necessarily not happy with where you're at, but just always seeing room for improvement, no matter how small, and taking it in stride.
yeah,
That's what
and
separates you apart from the rest.
it's an ever-changing world, bro. We gotta adapt, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the best lessons I learned as a young man that there's a lot of lessons I've learned very late in my life.
Don't
but
spill the milk,
that was one of the first ones.
or you get spilled.
Exactly. Change is inevitable. The quicker you are to be comfortable with that notion and adopt it and just embrace it, a lot easier your life is going to be. And then it's impressive how much that mindset helps with just your own progression and a lot of things too.
Sure.
Just understanding that, embracing it, and just making it a part of your life. Like, whether you like it or not, sometimes change, man. It's happening, and it's never ceasing.
For sure.
But that's what helps drive a lot of improvement. So, I don't know, man. You got any other questions for our boy?
I don't know. It's been a long day. I'm exhausted. Go fishing and go catch some giants, please.
Yeah, man. We'll cut it here. It's been about an hour and a half, so it's a pretty good time to wrap it up. I got everything out. So go ahead and take the floor again. Reintroduce yourself to everybody that's still here. Everybody that's here, by the way, drop a like on the stream, please, if you haven't already done so. But go ahead and tell them everywhere they can follow you. Maybe a little insight on when the next drop is. The whole 9 yards.
Alrighty. All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Passang Sherpa. I am the owner of Sherpa Swimbaits, and I have a drop coming at the end of this month. I don't have a date for you yet, but you can follow my Instagram, and I will make a post on when that date is coming up pretty soon, probably next week. My website is Sherpa Swimbaits at sherpaswimbaits.com. And my email is sherpaswimbaits@gmail.com. You can message me or email me anytime if you have any questions. And thank you, Andrew and Sean, for having me.
You're very welcome,
Absolutely,
sir.
dude.
Glad you could join us.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I was stoked.
Yeah. Before I turn over to Andrew for the proper and final outro, very, very, very important announcement for everybody that's still here, so please pay close attention. There is, in all likelihood, no stream next week because Wednesday night, when we would typically do this, I will be at his work, waiting in the parking lot at 5:55 p.m. for his exit at 6 p.m. to make the 4-hour drive to Lake Champlain. So I don't know if we can do something on the road because, like, that
Service
first chunk
up there sucks.
Yeah, like, dude, from southern New Hampshire all the way up, it's like you're in and out of service the whole way. So I don't know what we're going to do. I'm toying with the idea of doing something Tuesday night instead, but I just don't know how it's going to work out. So we talked about this like the last 3 trips we've done, right? Where we've gone out of town and about doing a stream, and we never do. I can promise you, we're going to do something. We already talked with Oliver and Joe when we had them, actually when we were on their stream for Big Bass Streams not too long ago, and they were down for it. So we're probably going to do like this kind of collaboration live stream on Instagram. So if you guys aren't following us there, please do so, because that's likely where you're going to be able to see it next. Because if we can get all of us all on our own account, I think you can have like 4 different Instagram accounts all streaming together simultaneously. And we'll just do a thing up there on Lake Champlain. I don't know, probably either Thursday or Friday night is my guess. Because Saturday, Oliver's all wrapped up. And then Saturday afternoon, we leave Champlain to head further south to go fish elsewhere. And for anybody that saw the Instagram and Facebook posts, we were looking to guide somebody for a full day, and that day is already taken for Sunday, July 24th. So thank you for everybody that reached out. There's like a really like humbling amount of people that were like, hell yeah, I want in. But unfortunately, there was quite a few guys that were like, no, I want to bring my buddy, and he can't go that day. Rest assured, we're definitely going to be opening up a lot more trips very, very soon here. We actually might even open up a night trip. We could do that. I want to night fish a lot more. We've been talking about it all summer. We just haven't really had time to make it work. But post Champlain, it should be a lot more night fishing and a lot more Vermont trips where we can guide without any issue. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested, definitely keep in touch with us on all our social media. Whenever we open it up, I'm going to post there. It'll be Instagram story and then on my 603 Bass Facebook page. So anybody can see that. You don't have to be my friend on there with my personal account. It'll be there. So otherwise, again, Passang, thank you very much, buddy. Greatly appreciate having you on.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Andrew, sign it off.
Hi. Passang, thanks again for coming on.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, it was awesome. Finally see you again since the expo. But everybody else, we will see you guys next week at 8 o'clock at youtube.com/603bass. I fucking nailed it.
Yay! He did it! 71 episodes in. He's got it nailed down, folks.
See you later, guys.
Everyone have a great night.
Later, dude.